Okay, guys, thanks for joining us here in the charts. Crypto Flight Edition, Napoleon Macro speaking. The title may suggest Bitcoin has about 5 days. Bitcoin countdown starting now, or like Bitcoin tap dancing on thin ice or something like that. I'm going to show you a oscillator that is suggesting if Bitcoin closes below one specific level, we could be in for some pretty handsome discounts in the not so distant future. So we'll make it short and sweet, guys. Let's get into it. Welcome back, loyal family. If you're new here, we only explore price action. Thanks for sticking around, all of my loyal subscribers. Let's go ahead and dive right into the charts here. So today's February the 23rd, 2022, and the current price of Bitcoin, $37,289.30, slightly positive 0.06% for the day. Okay. Guys, partner, enjoy any noise in the background. Different setup here. All right, so here is the chart. Here's what I've been following. It's very simple. Okay, so here are the monthly candles, guys. I actually found this pretty interesting. Taking a look at the Bollinger Bands. For those of you who are new to Bollinger Bands, I'm no expert, but the Bollinger Bands, typically the price action takes place within the two blue lines, okay? And when it's above this orange line, it may be a different color depending on what exchange you're using. But the mean average line for the Bollinger Bands acts as support and resistance whenever it closes above or below that line. And speaking of which, let's actually go back in time. I'm actually using the Kraken chart. I want to show you what happened when Bitcoin actually closed a monthly candle below that orange line, the mean average line. We're actually looking back here in October, I think, yes, 2018, where the next month in November, there was an official close below the orange line, the mean average line on the Bollinger Bands. Believe it or not, there was actually a 50% drop to the downside in about 2 months shortly thereafter. And if we go to the next example, there's actually limited data here, so please take this with a grain of salt, right? This is not guaranteed. I'm not saying it's actually going to happen. We actually have to wait until the monthly closes below the mean average, and then we can assess what potentially is going to happen next in the market. Okay, so right now we do not have a close. We're going to go over to present day here in 1 second. From the mean average level, the orange line, all the way down to the wick back in March 2020, it was a total of about 42% retracement to the downside. So let's just go ahead and scoot on over to present day to see where we are. So hopefully this explains why I say that Bitcoin appears to be tap dancing on thin ice, is because it's right on that moving average, that mean average line, like right now. Could it be finding support, one may say? Yeah, it could be finding support. We'll know that in about 5 days and 0 hours, it looks like over here. So if Bitcoin closes below 36,000, please take notes, guys, or simply pull up your monthly Bollinger Bands. If Bitcoin closes below the mean average line on the Bollinger Bands, that is going to be $36,817. Let's just call it like $36,800. If Bitcoin closes the month in 5 days, okay, below that level, then that would be a close below the mean average line. And I think I have an average here of about 40 to 50% to the downside. Take it easy, guys. Don't shoot the messenger. I'm not saying this is going to happen. It has not happened. Let's wait and see what's going to happen. But if it does happen, it's actually going to be, let's actually do a really quick measurement and close things out here. I'll just simply base my measurements on the mean average level on the monthly Bollinger Bands here. Let's just kind of start at about $36,800 and see what would it look like for Bitcoin if it were to retrace about 40% to the downside. By the way, if you're new to cryptos and you're like, dude, it's never going to happen, man, you might want to do some research on the price action back in. I'm not saying that to be rude, but cryptos are super volatile, like seriously. An 80% correction in the cryptos, that's normal actually. That's happened more than 2 times, I think I measured. So like more than 2 or 3 times, guys. So definitely be open to volatility. Please, please, please. All right, but a 40% retracement will bring Bitcoin price from $36,800 all the way down to about $22,000. And if Bitcoin has a little bit more, if Bitcoin is a little bit more generous with us, right? Those of our long-term investors who know that Bitcoin and cryptos are super volatile, it would actually bring a 50% retracement would actually bring it all the way down to about $18,000. Now, remember, again, I'm not saying it's going to happen, but if it were to happen, we were actually going to have to give this price action up to 6 months to determine what's going to happen. I think if the Bitcoin price maintains support above this level, this would actually be a pretty a reasonable setup for the buyers as they're simply finding support at the mean average line and ready to rip this price to the upside. I still think that Bitcoin will move higher. It's just, the process before it moves higher, a lot of people just may not be mentally ready for, substantial discounts. I'm going to say this, and hopefully, you guys don't get your lawyers on me or anything like that, but don't quote me on it. But I do think that Bitcoin will eventually reach a conservative $18,000. I know, guys. I know it's never going to happen. But what I do is I look at CME futures gaps, and I know someone's going to say they don't always get filled. I know they don't always get filled. But I did do a lot of research back in like 2018 and like 2019, like just kind of studying gaps on the daily candles. And they typically do get filled, guys. Like it's. I think someone said it was like a gap at like 3,000. There's no gap at 3,000. I'm talking about the daily candles, guys, not the. I think someone looking at the 1 hour candles, guys. I look at that stuff, but I'm never gonna show it to you, okay? Because I respect your journey. All right. But here's the gap, guys. Here on the daily candles, it's at about 32,000, all the way up to about 34,000. And I know what someone's probably thinking, like, dude, it already got filled. It already wicked at that level. This is noteworthy, guys, and I kind of put this out in comment sections. Gaps do not get filled by wicks, okay? At least for Bitcoin on the daily candles. You can quote me on that at a later date. I'll say it one more time. Bitcoin gaps do not get filled by wicks. I had a very lengthy, back and forth exchange with people in the comment section of, I don't even know if I should mention the channel. Someone's gonna say, you're promoting his channel. Carl from the Moon. And I got on him about it too. He thinks that you can fill gaps with wicks. You cannot fill gaps with wicks. Quote me on this at a later date. Okay? That's some very powerful information. You need a daily candles body to close gaps on the Bitcoin CME futures. All right. That's all I have for you wonderful folks. And speaking of which, there's actually gaps above the price as well, guys. That's why I'm pretty confident that, whatever Bitcoin goes through, these downward moves, as soon as everyone loses hope, everyone starts selling, I'm going to be right there like, oh my goodness, like you wouldn't believe. I've had dry powder waiting for so long. There's a gap between 51,000 up to 53,000. And that gap will get filled. It will get filled. You can quote me on that at a later date. Serious. But don't bring your lawyers, okay? You can't sue me, all right? This is not financial advice. And there's actually another gap, guys, but above 52,000. But let's just take it one step at a time. And speaking of which, let's go ahead and end out the video. That is the end of this video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that. So if you don't mind supporting the channel, and you can go ahead and leave an appropriate thumb below the video if you enjoyed the content. And leave a comment so that the YouTube algorithm can salvage what's left of this channel. If you're new, we also explore the infamous 5. You can kindly join us here on this interesting journey, and we'll send that out to you momentarily. Welcome in. I'd like to take this opportunity to thank you all for your time. Remember, guys, always have a strategy before you enter. Keep that positive energy flowing. We'll talk soon, and bye for now, guys and gals.